Hey everyone, just Mueller again here. Probably just gonna start recording my videos in the morning here in the family room. It's really nice, drinking my coffee. I have sunlight, so the lighting is a lot better. So this will probably be my new recording station. Also just kind of change it up so I'm not always at my desk. Today I want to talk about leverage and why leverage is actually killing you. And if it's not killing you, it's killing other traders. Leverage is probably the number one killer for 99% of losing Forex traders, and here's why. First of all, let's go ahead and identify what leverage is. Leverage is what allows you to be able to trade Forex in general. In the past, you needed to actually have probably like $100,000 minimum just to trade Forex. 50,000, 100,000. It was only reserved for the big players, for the big dogs, people who had a lot of money available at hand. Only those people could trade Forex. Then we had online brokerages started to come about as the internet started to really take off. We had brokerages open up on the internet so you can go ahead and open an account from your phone or from your computer. Now, at that time, you still needed to have a lot of money. But as the years started to go on, they started to introduce something called leverage, meaning that the money you deposit into your account, you are given a certain amount of money on top of that to trade. So as an example, let's talk about the most common leverage here in the United States, which is 50 leverage, meaning for every dollar you put into your account, the broker is going to give you $50. So basically, if you put $1,000 into your account, multiply that by 50, and that's how much money the broker is giving you in order to actually trade on the Forex market. Now, when I say the broker is giving you money, I'm not saying they're actually sending you money. They're not sending you a check in the mail. They're not giving you money in your trading account. What they're actually doing is they're just on the back end. Everything is managed within the back end. If you put $1,000 into your account, you're only going to see $1,000. But in the back end, the broker is giving you more money to trade because we trade Forex based on something called lots. So here's an example. One micro lot, which is 0.01, that's the smallest lot size you can possibly trade in Forex. One micro lot is worth $1,000. A mini lot, which is 0.1, represents $10,000. And a standard lot, which is 1.0, represents $100,000. So as you can see, this is why we need leverage, because you wouldn't be able to trade these lots unless you had that kind of leverage. This is also why some people are able to open up a trading account. Maybe they're given 1 to 1,000 leverage, which is insane. And they can open up a standard lot on a $200 account or maybe even a $100 account. This is why it's very dangerous for brand new traders, because they get in with this mentality that they're going to get rich overnight, that they're going to get rich quick. So they deposit $100 and they open up a mini lot, or maybe they open up 5 mini lots or even a standard lot, and they blow their account in 10 seconds or less. One thing I've learned over the years is that the professional traders tend to stick with the lowest amount of leverage as possible. And it's actually not because they don't want to grow their accounts really big. Don't get me wrong, they do have the skill set. If they want to deposit $1,000 and turn it into $10,000 in a month, they do have the skill set to do that. The reason why professional traders choose to trade with as little leverage as possible, it's so they don't get encouraged to trade more than they should. You also have to remember that the more money you have in your account, the more you have at risk. If you have $100,000 in your account, the last thing you want to do is be given 500 leverage, because one day, if you end up becoming greedy, you're going to open up a 50 lot trade and you might blow that account in one sitting if you're not careful. This is why the professional traders choose to have as little leverage as possible, and that's why they have no problem going with a US broker. But even US brokers have problems because of something called a FIFO rule. First in, first out. This is probably for an entirely different video I'll make talking about why I prefer offshore brokers, even though most offshore brokers are unregulated. It's mainly because there are so many advantages and tax advantages to using an offshore broker versus a US broker. But again, this is for an entirely different video. Now, this is why brokers in general mainly target brand new traders. It's also because they are unaware of leverage. They don't really know what it means. So they just end up blowing their accounts and they keep redepositing. And it's like this whole dopamine effect we talked about in the previous video. The more they see themselves making money, even if it's only for 5 seconds, and if they blow their account, they're like, ooh, but I was up $100. This is changing my life. Let me go ahead and deposit more money. And they want to go ahead and get back to that spot of making money. But they don't realize that they're stuck in this psychological trap. And it's not the Forex industry's fault. It's mainly the brokers, trying to attract these brand new traders, not really showing them the proper way of things. This is why I love it when specific brokers, such as A-book brokers, again, this is for an entirely different video, what an A-book broker and what a B-book broker is. I tend to go for A-book brokers because they have their clients in mind. They have their best interest in mind. They are not trading against their own clients. They're actually trading with them and they want them to succeed. So with an A-book broker, if the client succeeds, the broker succeeds, such as the broker I use, Osprey FX. They actually, want to help their clients. They have education. They're pumping out these news articles, and I do believe they're coming out with an educational course as well. I have no idea, but I do believe they might be doing that soon. So to wrap things up, there is nothing wrong with using high leverage. There's nothing wrong with it at all, whether you're a beginner or professional. But it starts to become a problem when you don't know how to properly utilize leverage. I want you to think about it like this. Think about it like a credit card. If a credit card company gives you $10,000 in credit, that's not your money, okay? That's not your money to spend. That is how much the bank, that is how much the credit card company is willing to loan you. It doesn't mean you should spend it right away. You should only be using that credit if there's an emergency. Now, a broker offering you high leverage is a bit different because there's no such thing as an emergency trade. You're not going to trade a 10 lot trade on a $5,000 account because of an emergency. It doesn't work like that. The only time you should use the high leverage is once you've become very highly skilled in your industry and you're willing to lose all the money in your account, because you always have to take that risk. You always have to be aware of the risk that you could lose 100% of the money in your account if you're going to over leverage. So I pretty much went on a tangent there. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the higher the leverage, the worse it is for brand new traders. If you're an experienced trader, if you're a professional trader, if you've been trading for years, if you're consistently profitable, then higher leverage shouldn't be a problem for you because you're not going to use that much anyways. But I do tend to enjoy the brokers that provide me higher leverage so I can use it in case I want to. Here's an example of what I do. For example, I turned my $10,000 account into $20,000 and I withdrew $5,000. So I put it into a separate trading account and then I grew that $5,000 into $7,000. That's what I call compounding your money. That's truly compounding your profits. I turned my profits from my primary account, I transferred it to a second account, a brand new account, and then I turned that $5,000 into $7,000. So I made money on top of my money that I made from my main account. That is when I do think it's okay to have higher leverage, because that second account I opened, I don't consider it my over leveraging account where I over leverage. I'm still following my proper risk management, but it's with higher lot sizes and smaller stop losses. So really, I'm still following my 1 to 3% risk per trade management strategy, but I'm just taking it up a notch. So that's why I tend to like brokers that provide me with different options of leverage, either 1 to 100, 1 to 500. And so I know that I have breathing room for different types of strategies and risk management strategies. So that's it for this video. I hope that I gave you a good insight towards leverage as to why it's not good for beginners. Beginners shouldn't be trying to over leverage their account. Again, it's okay to have a lot of leverage, but only if you use it responsibly. As long as you're trading with a risk management of 1 to 3% per trade, in my opinion, it doesn't even matter what leverage you're using at that point. As long as you're following that risk management strategy, your account's gonna grow over time. So that's it, guys. Take care. Leave a comment down below on what video you want me to make next, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.